So economists are warning that we could be potentially on the verge of an economic collapse. However, it would not be a recession. That is scary because what's happening right now and what we know is everything is getting worse. And guess who's getting blamed? Democrats. And guess who's pushing to get Democrats blamed? Republicans. But here's what we know. And again, all this stuff is getting messier. But here's something that we are hearing. Hedge funds and some Fed presidents are warning the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell that he actually needs to be more aggressive with raising rates in order to avoid an economic collapse. But again, some say we're headed for an economic collapse. However, it would be right on the brink of a recession. But we also know gas prices are currently averaging $4.91 a gallon here in the United States as of today. The expectation is that they're going to go even higher. We know Goldman Sachs, they predict a barrel of oil will go past $140. It's currently right about $120. But they also say consumers are going to feel like crude is up over $160 a barrel due to refinery constraints and increased demand over the summer. And guess what? Democrats are being blamed. President Biden is being blamed for, canceling or pretty much canceling the Keystone XL pipeline, for trying to go green when we should be worried about bringing in more oil, right? Producing more, right? This is what the American people, voters, even people in other countries are saying, that this is why things are so messed up. Well, then you throw in a war. But again, that's for a different video. We also know there's an international food crisis that has only gotten worse as a result of that war in Ukraine. Large retailers like Kroger, Target, Walmart, Costco, these stores are not expected to run sales on food items throughout the summer. At least big sales. They're not going to happen. Why? Because we're already seeing shortages. People are willing to pay full price. So why would they cut their prices to get people to save money? That's not why they're in business. However, here's one thing that they will cut prices on other goods. They say that right now they have excess inventory due to shipping delays from 2021. This isn't great because here's what's happening. We are seeing stores overloaded with excess inventory from Christmas sales, right? From Thanksgiving. They have excess inventory that they're trying to unload and do whatever they can because they're paying to ship that stuff. They're paying to store that stuff and they want to get some of their money back. So guess what? They run sales. This brings people in. They buy some of these good sale items, but then they also spend money on higher price items like food. Well, it's actually causing the American people to have less buying power. And guess what? Who's to blame for this? President Biden. President Biden is being blamed for this, for pretty much fanning the fire and sending more military equipment to Ukraine. That's what we're being told right now, is that it's Democrats. Well, who's telling us this? Well, for one, some economists are. And then we also got Republicans saying, you know what, it's your fault. Because guess what happened when former President Donald Trump was in office? Guess what Nancy Pelosi did? She said, yeah, it's your fault. Mr. Trump, it is you. You are the reason why we have all these deaths. Why you let COVID into our country. It's you. It's your fault. And guess what? He was a one-term president. Well, so far. So, that's the other thing we're hearing. We also know President Biden still plans on forgiving up to $10,000 in student loan debt. But over the past week, we've actually heard from several Democrats who are pushing back against this plan as a result of being too close to the midterm elections. Even one senator said just the other day that he would prefer the $200+ billion go towards climate change, or even an additional 2 years of the child tax credit payments. That's pretty big. And you guessed it, President Biden and Democrats are getting blamed for dangling the carrot in front of the American people once again. Keep this in mind. We're almost 2 years in to President Biden's presidency. And one of the campaign promises he had was he was going to forgive up to $10,000 in student loan debt. Hasn't happened. The expectation it will most likely happen most likely in August, right before the payment pause expires. Again, they're just dangling that carrot, but that's kind of what we're getting. And now, something else that we're seeing, and this is something that I warned you guys on for the past 4 months, 5 months maybe, is we are now about to see Obamacare subsidies expire. This is going to happen in September, okay? At the end of September, this is going to happen. Now, I want to show you a map, and on this map, what you're going to see is you're going to see how much more certain families in specific states are going to have to pay if these subsidies from the American Rescue Plan are not extended. So let's look, and guess what? Okay, and we're going to look at this, but guess who's being blamed for this as well? Yeah, you guessed it, Democrats, and specifically Senator Joe Manchin, who's actually out of West Virginia. Now keep that in mind as I show you this. Look at this right here. So it says monthly premium hike if ARP, this is American Rescue Plan, subsidies are not extended for a household size of 2 where the people in the household are both 60 years old and pre-retirees. Remember how I said Senator Joe Manchin is out of West Virginia? He's a senator out of West Virginia. Look at this. West Virginia, right here. The monthly 2022 premium lowest cost silver plan without ARP subsidies is $3,200. With it, it is $499. That's a difference of $2,700. That, I believe, is the highest increase in the entire country. Yeah, highest increase. Look over here in Washington State. It goes from $1,600 to $526, okay, or $526, which it is now, to $1,600, an increase of $1,100. Look here at Alaska. It's going to go up $2,500. Florida, go up $1,300. Texas, $1,000. California, only $858. Not bad. Then you go over here, let's say to Maine, $1,300. Come to the middle of the country, Nebraska, $1,600. Okay, look at that. That's insane. Let's go to Michigan, $697 increase. Ohio, $1,100. You can go to this map. This is actually on Business Insider. But you can come here, look at this, in Utah, okay? Increase of $1,200. Got Nevada, increase of almost $1,000. This is the reason why I bring this up. I bring this up because this is what we're going to see. And a lot of people don't realize that this is going to happen. We are going to see more and more people paying more money if these Obamacare subsidies are not extended. That's the problem. Again, guess what? Democrats are being blamed for this. Because not only did Democrats provide these subsidies to lower the cost to the American people, which was great. I think it helped out millions and millions of people over the past year. Right? It's done its job. But now that this is people are relying on this, what happens when you just pull those away? Those are gone. Those subsidies, that additional relief is just gone. What happens then? Well, you're stuck paying more money. That's what happens. So again, what we are seeing is everything's getting worse. Slowly, it's getting worse. And guess what comes out on Friday? On Friday morning, the CPI report. We're going to know, are we seeing inflation come down? Are we seeing disinflation? Right? Are we going to be stuck at 8.3%? I expect that is going to be a hard no. I think we're going to come down. But according to many reports, we actually could see inflation, which means even if we go down to, let's say, 8%, over the months of June, July, August, we actually could see inflation where temporarily we go from 8.5 to 8.3, which we are now, down to, let's say, 8, maybe on Friday, and then we start heading back up to the 8.2, 8.5, maybe 8.7 range. That's what some are expecting over the course of this summer, and a lot of that has to do with rising gas prices and the issues regarding shipping and food and travel and all that stuff, right? So we're going to see what happens, but what I can tell you is the expectation is we're going to get on pretty much on the verge of an economic collapse, and we will be it will be corrected right before a recession. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, but one thing I can tell you is you have to be prepared. Save money, work some extra hours, put some money in the bank, right? Don't spend as much, Cut some of your expenses. I highly recommend you do that. Pay off debt if you can. Don't borrow on margin. If you're investing, don't trade on margin, okay? You could get screwed. Don't do that. And again, just be prepared. Because when you know what hits the fan, the people with the money, the people with assets, those are the ones that are going to come out of this, not really scot-free, but they're going to come out with very little, not very many issues. Okay, so that's where you want to be. If you have questions on any of this stuff, as always, you can always ask your questions down in the comment section below. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing so you never miss an update, and I'll see you guys on the next one.